Welcome to PNW Prop Stars, the only Seahawks only gambling show. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner, and I am joined by two fine gentlemen. Look, the Princetonian, I think he took a licking this week and maybe just took a little nap, Adam. So he's out, but we have somebody tagging in that I know you love, very, very much known for a long time. Adam, first to you. How you doing, buddy? You're on the road, Eureka, California. Man, oh man, you are burning the miles out there. How are things for you?
Long. You know what I'm tired of? The inside of my windshield. Like me and that are we're not on the same page anymore. We've spent too much time together. I think we need a divorce, but it'll be okay. I also need to divorce my picks because, no matter what I do this year, it sucks balls. So whether it's Wilson or Brandon here to give Wilson's bets, I'm sure they'll be better than mine. Brandon, how good are Wilson's bets compared to mine?
Well, I know just based on history that they have, 70% chance more of succeeding without even knowing what they are.
Wow. Okay. That seems low.
Right. And so you said you need yeah, exactly right. You said you need a divorce from the picks perhaps, but I know us bringing in Brandon, no divorce there. You guys have been going at this for the longest time on the Seahawkers Podcast Network. This is, of course, just one of the shows we put out there. So Brandon, it's bright and early for you as well. It is Christmas time, the holidays, Hanukkah for those who celebrate that, all the holidays mixed into one beautiful time of year. We want to get to 5,000 subscribers. So what can people do? Even a free gift they could give back to the Seahawkers Podcast, fellas.
It is the time for giving. It is the holiday season. It is a time where we need, at least 200 more people to go and subscribe to us at youtube.com/Seahawkers Podcast. You can be one of those 200 people if you haven't joined up already. And that's not even any joining involved. It's just clicking a button that says subscribe, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You can do that.
Yeah. I mean, while other channels will like send you 17 videos a week, and it's like, oh, here's a 30-second video. I'm not even talking about shorts. So it's another video. Look, we put out 5 unique shows a week during the season that are all good, and they're all different, like PNW Prop Stars. And we are that's actually good math, Brandon. We're just about 200 plus shy. So be one of those 200 plus and pass this on to some other 12s. Give us a gift this Christmas time because we certainly really do want to get there. All right. So boys, and that's the graphic there. Of course, subscribe and join out on YouTube. That's great. And we like to put out on YouTube, youtube.com/Seahawkers Podcast. We like to put some votes out there for the public and some polls, et cetera, Ask this, post the Packers game saying, hey, right now, where's your heart at? Where's your hawker at? What's going to happen with our Seahawks? Basically 2/3, nearly 250 votes, 2/3 saying we're going to miss the playoffs. Adam, I know that's how it might feel for so many, but is there more hope than that in Hawkerville?
There absolutely can be. It just depends if maybe Mike Macdonald puts his boot completely up our offensive coordinator's butt or not. I think that's probably where it's at. But they honestly do have a fairly good shot still to win the NFC West here. Clinton, you were pointing out to me before the show that there in New York, the Rams are going to be playing a game in 25-degree temperatures. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Matthew Stafford has played in those sort of temperatures 2 times in his career.
Exactly. So the Georgia boy who then, spends all those years inside the dome out in whether that was the Silver Dome in Ford Field, whenever that opened. And now he's in LA in SoFi Stadium there. Look, I'm very, very ready for a Jets W on Sunday. I'm looking forward to celebrating that. I'm taking my shot, calling it now. Brandon, we talked about the Hawkra, earlier this week. Has it changed yet for you, or you still feel like this Minnesota game is going to be a real tough pill for us?
Well, I still think that the Minnesota game is going to be tough. And this is where you're at right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, if after this week we get the win in Minnesota and the Rams lose to the Jets, then this probably flip-flops, right?
100% it does. It flip-flops really quickly too. So, and that's the point. It's like I know people have wild swings and emotions involved. It's the NFL with 3 weeks to go. A lot can and still will happen, including injuries that we're not expecting for certain players and teams, all the way over to upsets. last night, the Chargers are down big early versus a Broncos team that looks like they can't be stopped until it all flipped. It all flipped with that free kick. They get the extra 3 points right before halftime, and the Chargers come out and just whomp the Broncos the second half of that game. Didn't expect that. Now all of a sudden, heck, the Bengals got an inside straight chance of making the playoffs again. And I'd say nobody wants to see Joey Burrow in the playoffs. Maybe we do, because we could just sit back and like watch him do some cool things. Maybe we play him in the Super Bowl, but a boy can dream. All right. So guys, hey, here's the deal. I went 2 for 3 last week. So I am the PNW Prop Star champion of week 15. Sorry, week 15, getting ahead of myself. Here.
Did you say Dirk Diggler was the week 15 champion?
Yes, Dirk. So this is my this is what do they call that thing when you're an author but you take the other name? What's that thing? A pseudonym. Pseudonym, yeah. So this is my pseudonym, my visual pseudonym, if that's a thing. So the fun part about this, there's 2 quick fun parts. This was for a Studio 54 birthday party. So that's why I look like that. And it was the second time since I was 19 years old, only twice, that I shaved my beard. This time I left the mustache. The other time I shaved my beard fully was for a Halloween party, 15 years ago, when I dressed up as Al Bundy. So Al Bundy is clean shaven. So you got to do what you got to do. So that's that. That's what I look like with half a beard, also known as a mustache. This is how I got there, guys. The Geno under 34.5 attempts. Not the way I wanted it. And frankly, if he doesn't get hurt, he probably goes over that because we didn't run the damn ball. So that one's probably just luck across the board. Wilson and I both hit a JSN bet. Try and keep a rolling there. Adam, anything for you that you want to talk about that maybe brought you shame?
Our offensive line. I mean, they were just manhandled the entire game by a Packers defensive line that got, was one of the worst in pressures in sacks in the entire league. That hurt my feelings. And then, of course, one of them to get a sack had to be Gary right out of the gate. So that hurt my feelings. I think Lockett finished with 2 receptions. So another kick in the balls there. And then Seattle wasn't competitive at all, which, I'd gladly lose that bet if they won instead or something. I don't know. It just isn't. It is frustrating. Whatever with these bets.
Just to stop on it and rub it in. Didn't Lockett also have a PI? So he had an attempt to go his way and a PI. So yeah. So close.
Probably I love the, there's a Lockett in play for me later today. So I'll leave that. A little careful. That's a teaser. All right. So that brings me to the tee box because, hey, I am the champion. This is how this works. So this is where I'm going first here, boys. Oh, by the way, look at this innovation. If you're watching on youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast, what innovation do you guys see on screen? I know you see it because it's ugly, but it's useful.
I wonder if Adam sees it. Is it the first down marker down there in the right corner?
Yes. I was tired of bumbling what down I'm on. I'm like, you know what? I could just add a visual cue to these and then I'll know. So guys, not just a hat rack. I did it this time. I thought about it and I think I solved it. Now let's see if I can actually stick the landing here, right? And not bumble it. But I'm not sure I'd take the under on that one. All right. But this bet under 42.5 points at -112, there is one reason and one reason only that I love an under bet. Adam, do you know what the reason is?
Our offense is god awful and probably won't score many points against a good defense.
It's a good Family Feud try, but that's not the answer. Brandon,
it feels like the answer though.
Show me weather.
Show me weather. Ding, 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 ding. It is a 95%, 100% chance of rain, 95% chance of good rain from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock Pacific time on Sunday. Okay. Give me Sam Darnold, that USC boy. I think he was USC, right? Carolina, fair weather, playing in a dome. They played no games in bad weather this year whatsoever. 0. Went back and looked at them, all the Northeast games or Green Bay earlier in the year, September, good weather. They have not played in bad weather all year. 42.5 is still a lot of points. Just give me a slop fest, 17, 16, something like that. I'm smashing this over. Adam, weather matters, doesn't it?
It does matter. But I feel like maybe all of your NFL takes this week are based off of Jim Cantori's weather reports on the Weather Channel. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Did you watch any NFL stuff or was it all about low pressure zones?
Strictly El Nino. I don't know which one we're in.
La
But
Nina.
La Nina. There you go. It's all that. It's all unders all the time today.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crappy weather. All right, Brandon, you are in for Wilson. It is first down. This is where he's taking it. Tell us, get into the head of the young Princetonian. He's got some faith, Brandon. Take it away.
Yeah. I just want to point out that in What If, I picked 26-16, and which was a Vikings win, and that smashes the under. So I wanted to agree with you on that last one.
Barely. I want to disagree with your take on who's going to win the game, but it's hard to. But hey, if the under hits, I'm with you.
All right. Wilson going with the point spread bet, 3.5 points. This is not enough points, Wilson, as I just explained. But I can see why that you have a little optimism in this game. Maybe it's due to weather.
Yeah, Adam, I mean, minus 131. I'm not sure if he actually teased this up a little bit or if this is just what was being offered. I saw through the week that it kind of started at like Seattle getting 4, and now it's kind of around 3 is what I'm seeing. So at 3.5 minus 131, is that enough points? What do you think?
Well, it's interesting because I saw it at 3 as well, Clinton. So 3.5, I guess maybe he teased it a little bit, or maybe just caught it as the line progressed throughout the week. But with that said, last week I took Seattle plus 2.5, I think, or 2, whatever it was, and thinking that even if they lose, it's going to be a close game because I think these two teams are close to being in the same stratosphere. It's going to be fun to watch. It wasn't. And I think that the Vikings are even another tier above the Packers. So I'm going to say that it's going to be tough for the Seahawks to stay within 4 points of the Vikings. Now, with that said, I was dead wrong last week, which means I'll probably be dead wrong this week. And Wilson will actually hit on this, which will really be annoying on the show, but fantastic for my football fandom.
One thing I'll say, though, is generally, like, Wilson is really good at tracking the movement of when lines are going one direction or another. And that's usually when he hops on these style bets. And it seems, if we were to go back and look, do the Seahawks actually win and not even need the points in most of the occasions where he takes the points?
Ooh, that's if there's somebody out there, if there's a dedicated PNW watcher that wants to go look at
Wilson, Wilson Kahn,
like
who's not
Wilson,
with us today.
right.
Maybe you could look that up and let us know.
Yeah, that could be the punishment for not being here this Good Friday morning. All right, so he's got some faith in our Seahawks. That's where he's going. Adam, you were up on your first down bet. I will just say I like it. I do want to ask as we get going, though, with it on screen, is this assists plus solo only? I couldn't tell by the snapshot.
I believe it was solo only.
Okay.
I might be wrong. I'll have to go back and look. Shoot. Maybe it was both.
I think.
Gosh dang it! Now you have me questioning my own bet here.
Well, a half a tackle wouldn't be solo, but that's usually why they put the solo tackles at a midpoint.
Right. Okay. So this might be solo and assists.
I'm going to say solo.
He's gonna. Okay. Well, we could clarify.
Whatever Brian says.
My guess is that it's solo, but take it away. I just want to get that out there. It's clear as mud, but still, even if it's just solo, this guy's been on fire. Who are we talking about?
Yeah, and this has less to do with Kobe Bryant being on fire or not on fire, or maybe smoldering. I don't know. But the point being here is that the Vikings have kept Sam Darnold relatively clean all season. Sam Darnold has been very good. Sam Darnold has really good receivers. They're going to throw a lot of balls to the receivers, which means that the safeties are going to be very involved in terms of tackling. Also, Aaron Jones has run the hell out of the football all year, which means that there's a good chance the safeties need to be involved in tackling. So Kobe Bryant had a slightly lower number than Julian Love, and so I went with Kobe here with over 3.5 solo, maybe solo and assist tackles. We'll see. Minus 130.
We'll see how it feels, Brandon. I want to put a little caddy onto this, a little sidecar, and say of one of those 3.5 or 4, can one of them be a peanut punch, Tillman punch style for a fumble that we actually recover? What do you think?
That would be nice. I feel like it's been a little while since Kobe's had one of those punch outs, and he's historically been relatively good at it. It was one of the reasons why I think we maybe liked him to mix it in at corner a little bit more. And then now that he's at safety, maybe it is just because of, I think back to the game against the Packers. He had a couple touchdown saving tackles on the running back early on. I bet he was at 3, maybe even into the second quarter against the Packers.
And that's what stuck with Adam, right? And that's maybe why he's going
stuck with him, and that's what will carry him through this week. But yeah, throw a peanut punch in there. Although, don't do it at the expense of whiffing and potentially giving up a touchdown.
I like the chip. Yes. Yeah, let's actually make tackles. All right, so this is then back to Wilson, who is Brandon today, and it is second down because the little marker at the bottom of the screen tells me so. Brandon, take it away.
See, this is how I know that Wilson was following the lines, following the trends. K9 anytime touchdown. It looks like K9 will be back up in the lineup this week. And if he's in the lineup, that means he's probably getting the ball. And near the goal line, he generally finds a way to get into the end zone. Grubb just has to make sure and call plays, like when they're on the 13-yard line, that actually hand it to Kenneth Walker. But this is a little bit of optimism on Wilson's part, but also some realism in that K9's really good inside that red zone.
Adam, he's betting that Grubb will hand the ball off to a running back near the goal line. I mean, K9 could bust one, of course. We know that. But next time we get down to the 15 or the 12 or the 9 or the 8, can we actually hand the freaking ball off? What do you think?
Can't but won't. Look, there's no possible way this happens. And this is no knock on K9 in any way, shape, or form. This has a 0% chance of hitting. And so maybe now K9 scores 2 touchdowns. Like maybe the reverse jinx works here. But look, the Vikings are one of the top teams in the leagues in terms of giving up rushing touchdowns. They just don't do it. And Ryan Grubb is allergic to running the football and just won't do it. And I know I have seen throughout this year, one thing I can hang my hat on with Ryan Grubb, if he sees the team is at all competent in any way stopping a running attack in any way, shape, or form, he will not do it. He won't do it. He just doesn't care, doesn't want to, doesn't believe in it. Whatever it is, I don't know. So this won't happen. I think this is a god-awful bet.
Well, he has seemed to turtle up once the going gets a little bit rough. He just stays in shotgun and just throws the ball. So hopefully we could break our own trends. But going into week 16, it's getting late early, as the great Yogi Berra, of course, once said. All right, Adam, that brings us to your second down. Now, I will preface this for the audience to say this feels a lot like another, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you can't beat them, join them. What do you got? And I'm a little fearful that you might be putting the kibosh on a player on a heater, but take it away.
Yeah, which isn't the intention, but it probably will happen just because of my record on Prop Stars this entire year. But look, man, can't beat them, join them. You couldn't have said it better. Like, you guys have been feasting on JSN bets. It's the only thing that hits like with any consistency in all Seahawks betting right now. And I just desperately need to get some things on the board, stop the bleeding, stop the hemorrhaging. So JSN with 60 or more ineffective receiving yards that really don't make a big difference in the game as he continues to be used as the Trey McBride of this offense. It's going to be so enjoyable to watch.
A little slander there. By the way, for the audience's sake, pop quiz, Brandon, for you. How many yards until JSN eclipses 1,000 on the season?
What, like 14?
6. 6. Okay. He is 6 yards away. So, hey, 1,000 yards that's still something. That is still, stop poo-pooing on our guy, man. He's good. And I don't think it's McBride-ish, although sometimes it does feel that way. I don't know.
Felt that way.
Yeah, last week did feel that way, but I don't think that's a JSN problem.
Well,
so much.
I mean, if we want to have that discussion for 30 seconds, like here's why it feels McBride-ish. Early in the season, the majority of the explosives came from DK Metcalf. I mean, we can all agree with that, right?
That's true fact.
Okay. Then they started doubling, tripling, quadrupling DK Metcalf. How many explosives have we had from DK since he's come back from the knee injury?
Yeah, like one.
-5.
Well, one that should be touchdown. Yeah, exactly. But nothing. The K9 misstep blew that one. But to your point,
And so now they're just saying, okay, go ahead and hit JSN for all of his 20 yards and shorter routes that Grubb has him running. And look, JSN is just not a burner. He's not going to take the top off of defense. Like, he's more of a possession guy. And so they're letting him just Trey McBride every single game. Like, that's exactly what's happening.
Well, I want him to be more the Amon-Ra St. Brown and less of the Trey McBride, which means he becomes effective in the red zone also, which I don't think it's a JSN thing so much as a Grubb thing. But you guys covered that topic really, really well. Had a great segment on the flagship episode of Seahawkers podcast that just dropped 2 days ago now. So go check that out on youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast. Brad, that was what, episode 454? Is that right?
455.
455. So just go look for the numeric 455. There's an awesome discussion about that. You guys said it right. Like, hey, we swapped out the deep stuff for lots of shotgun and underneath stuff. And now the over the top stuff is vanished as well. So we're getting kind of the worst of both worlds right now. With that, Adam, I do hope that JSN can continue. I've got a little something on him as we go as well. And let's see, that then takes us to me on my second down bet, guys. I'm just on the under train. It's the same as before. That I think the weather is going to be, well, it looks like it's going to be absolutely terrible. So I have Vikings under 20.5 points. Felt pretty comfy to me, and I'm getting plus 124. Can the Vikings score 3 touchdowns? Of course they can. Do I expect Seattle to start as slowly as we did versus Green Bay? I do not. I don't expect that. I would be really, really demoralized if we have another slow start on defense. That'd be really crappy. I don't expect it. So between those two combinations of a better start for our defense and bad weather, I like my chances of getting some plus money on Green Bay Vikings scoring under 21. Brandon, how's this feel for you? This was kind of in line-ish. Well, you said 26, so you still think they get over this mark?
Yeah, it's the only thing I can say about this one for you, Clinton, is that if you believe in something and you really want to hammer it, then that's what you have done here, because you've taken your first bet, you've compounded it, and here it is. Would you like to know how many times this season the Vikings have scored 20 or fewer points than the teams that they faced when they did score 20 or fewer points?
When they did. Sure. I'd like to know that answer.
Yes. They had a week 8 loss to the LA Rams, where they scored 20 to the Rams 30. And they scored 12 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars in that 77% humidity in week 10.
They were drenched out there, Adam. They were drenched. I still look, it's the NFL in becoming late December with really crappy.
You should get more than
weather.
plus 124 for this, by the way.
Well, yeah. I don't know that, but they're saying, but the NFL Vegas is predicting like 23.5 points. So that's kind of the even Steven bet. So take away a field goal, a missed field goal. How about that? There we go. We win. We win 21. Well, I feel differently. Adam, anything you want on this bet, or we can move on. All you.
Yeah, man. Look, the idea that you expect them to have a faster start defensively, it's like, do we? Like, what do we expect with this team? I have no expectations. I don't know. It's been such a seesaw year overall, and really against the upper level opponents so far, the defense has seemed to struggle, especially early. So I think that's tough. Again, I think this is betting on precipitation, and that's fun, I guess. So I'd love this to hit. We'll see.
It is completely based on, I think the weather will be bad. And to your point, the opening drive for the Cardinals the second game was a long touchdown for the Cardinals, and then Green Bay, boom, boom, 14 points right away. So maybe it's more hoping that we change it versus expecting, but that's what we have at this point of the season, is some hope. All right, third down, we take it. Oh, careful, boys. Going to get a little spicy. Adam, you're going spicy, and you're back on the JSN train. Tell us about it.
I'm screwed this year, so just throwing some haymakers. So this is just a catfish bet. JSN anytime TD and the Seahawks to win. I don't think that Ryan Grubb is going to run the ball in the red zone at all in this game. I just don't. And that means they're going to be throwing the ball, which means that they're going to triple DK, which means that really the only dude that's going to be open with any consistency is JSN. So I guess I'll go with that. And then, I can't remember which one of you guys made the point that this could be a trap game for the Vikings just with the remainder of their schedule. And I think that has a possibility of being in range. So Seahawks win, JSN, anytime TV. Give me all the monies, plus 450.
It's a very spicy meatball there, Brandon. Brandon, I know how you feel about this bet potentially hitting because you made that abundantly clear. How would you feel though if this bet does hit? Let's go there.
Oh, this would be amazing. I absolutely want this bet to happen. I want it to hit. I think you should get more than plus 450 because JSN only has 5 touchdowns on the year. So there's that aspect to it. There's the win potential, and but 450 is pretty healthy too. So I Adam, if you hit this, you win, and I want you to win next week.
Thank you.
Yeah, of all the bets, all 12 bets, including the Fail Marys, this is the this might be another innovation, like, the Hawkra bet of the week. This is the pure Hawkra bet of the week right here, my man. So this will raise it for us. And boy, oh boy, am I cheering for this one. All right, Brandon, this, I believe, no, it's me. Even with the markers, I still got that part. That's okay. We are on third down. It is me.
You and Tom Brady, buddy. You and Tom Brady.
Thank you. I'm on the very many similarities between me and Tom Brady, like just a lot, not just that one. All right. So third down for me, I'm back on the JSN train, and simply his over under is 62.5 by the books. And I like the over minus 115. This is train keep a rolling. And again, in what will be a wet environment. And I don't expect Flores to blitz less. He blitzes around 35% of the time. Then they do the sim blitzes where they're dropping DEs a la Macdonald back in coverage. So I would hope, and I will use the word hope here very specifically, Adam, I would hope that can relate to or bring us to quick game. And quick game and JSN, peanut butter and jelly. Give me that 62.5, even in the rain. Let him keep on rocking and rolling. I know you already had this one, Adam, so I'm feeling you must feel pretty good about it. Only thing I would ask you is, you were 60 plus at minus 125. Would you swap for this bet if you could?
Yes, I would. Because I did not take the time in my road weary delirium to see if I could tease the JSN yards one way or the other to get to something better here. So yeah, a whole 3 yards more, and you increase your odds by, a whole 10 points here from minus 125 to minus 115. I like that because you're right. Brian Flores, he blitzes like 65% of the time, every time. And it's going to be a tough game, I think, in terms of trying to get the ball down the field. So yeah, why not? I'm in screw it mode this week, guys. Like, I just think, who knows? Like, cool. Like, I hope this works.
Understood. We totally couldn't tell. But let's toss this to our very own Sex Panther ourself, Brandon. We haven't really heard about your take on JSN this week since you're reading Wilson's bets. But do you feel like JSN just keeps on trucking along?
I do. I had a question for both of you. What would the cutoff be to where you go, oh, well, that's too high. I would have to take the under.
70.
I'm at like 85.
Yeah, I'm more with Clinton on this one. I think he hit. I think 62 is probably a number that he could hit by halftime.
Oh, that'd be delightful. That'd be very cool.
Wow.
The Vikings have been like okay against one receivers and like okay against two receivers, wide receiver 2. So I don't know where you put JSN in the 1 or 2, but they've been like okay against the top 2 guys. So I feel like
wait. On this team, or like just as a theory, like JSN 1 or the 2? Like what kind of question is that?
Well, I'm saying the Vikings have been like okay against wide receiver ones and kind of mid against wide receiver ones, kind of mid versus wide receiver twos. So no matter where you put JSN, I think he's still got some matchup advantages. That's my point.
But
Fair
more
enough.
so at the wide receiver 2 spot.
Well, and for me, he's our wide receiver 1 because the stats are what they are. All right, let us march on.
Numbers fucking lie, dude. Like, tape don't lie. Watch the tape and tell me that DK Metcalf is not the number 1 receiver. I freaking dare you, because it's impossible.
Yes. All right, we're going to go on to the third down bet now for Wilson, which, I wish Wilson was here because I want to hear all about this, but talk about spicy, boys. Careful at plus 750. Brandon, you get the chance to talk about this. How you feeling? You've seen it live, plus 750, but what gives?
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense of why this is the number it is, because for one, generally the trends are that if the Seahawks are down to be able to win, then they have to score more points in the second half. So that's I think what he's thinking will happen here. I kind of like this one because it's been a little bit slow to start for the team, and so Vikings at the half, that makes a lot of sense. And then he has the optimism that we get the win. He has the point spread. I just don't understand, as the bets lay out, like, why did he take Seahawks with the points earlier? If you believe in this one, take the Seahawks straight up in the earlier one and cash in and win big.
Right, maybe a little hedging, right, is what I would guess from if he were here to talk about that, because he's pretty good with the mathematics. But in general, Adam, this one, if we had a coin, where yours was the most positive Hawkra, this one is like, ooh, if this happens, this is a Geno chip bet, right? This is Geno getting the chip. So how would this how might this break down if it happens?
Yeah, I mean, if this does happen, then Geno gets the stat, right? The game tying or go-ahead touchdown in the last couple minutes of the football game. That would be pretty cool. And I think Brandon laid it out nicely there. This whole fast start thing has been fastly circling the drain all season. Like, it's not happening. It happened once against the Cardinals, and then that was it. So, yeah, another slow start. And then hopefully they make great halftime adjustments and come back for the win. If mine was the ultimate Hawker bet, then this one is way above that. And what I like about it is kind of how I went about my JSN bet on third down. Is like, I just wanted one bet that was absurdly pro Seahawks that I could root for my team to have success this week. And I think that's probably a little bit where Wilson's at here.
I like it. Let's say we're down at 3 at halftime. No big deal. We win the game by 1, and we are all celebrating Wilson cashing a plus 750. I can dig that. Okay, that of course brings us to our Fail Mary. This is a $1 bet compared to our $10 bets on first, second, and third down. It must be plus 1,200 or longer odds to qualify. We call it the Fail Mary. We call it the Sunday Scratcher. We call it the Sunday Rubber. Everybody calls it that, of course. I'm back on the tee box. So, guys, this is a large composition. I will tell everybody that these are yards. That's not 62.5 receptions for JSN. So everything you see here is yards based. So I've got a little 5-pack. I'll read it quickly. It's a Sunday Rubber at plus 1,900. JSN over his yards of 62.5. DK under his yards of 56.5. Noah Fant, who I've been calling George for 3 seasons, under 25.5 yards. Tyler Lockett in what might be his last home game, potentially over 20.5 yards. And Aaron Jones out of the backfield on a wet day, over 15.5. These are all receiving yards at plus 1,900. I know it's a long shot. Does anybody want to say anything about these? Adam, you first. Anything about this 5-way play?
Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't make this bet is because that's just too much to keep track of, and I don't think I have the energy for it. Is really what it's all about. My favorite part of this bet, I think, is Fant under 25.5, because he's been a ghost all year. He'll continue to be a ghost in this game, so cool with that.
Well, there were games where he had a couple of 60-yard. I looked at it. There were a couple of games in a row when DK was out. where he was 60 yards a game, 58 yards a game, et cetera, et cetera. And then it just, even if he gets his touches, they're like 3 yards, 6 yards, and it's a couple times. So obviously any of these could bust at any time. Brandon, it's a bit of an inside straight, but what do you think?
I hope you lose this one. I hope everything hits except for the DK, that he goes over 56 and you lose this bet.
I will accept that. You are a gentleman and a scholar. I would accept that outcome because that would be, I think, a pretty good day for our Seahawks. All right. That takes us to Wilson's bet. Brandon, he's on the JSN train. Talk about it.
Ah, yes. JSN 2 touchdowns plus 1,500. This for a Fail Mary bet. Now, as I mentioned earlier, he only has 5 touchdowns on the season. But if you're going to bet for any guy on the team, maybe not named Kenneth Walker, to get 2 touchdowns in a game, and would he be? He might actually be up over 1,200. That would be the one curiosity I'd have, is if K9 and JSN, if it's similar numbers, I'd probably lean K9. But this one doesn't hurt either. 2 touchdowns, yeah. Let's see this one happen.
Well, knowing the Princetonian as well as I do, my guess is that the 2 touchdown K9's probably like plus 1,100, because I think he was on the same wave as you. Like, well, if I think he's going to score once, well, then let me see if I can get the Fail Mary. I think Vegas is not putting it quite that high. Adam, you're on the JSN wagon this week. 2 tutties for our guy.
Yeah, Brandon, you said he's had 5 TDs all year. So it increases touchdown total by almost or a little over 30%. I guess that's why they call it a Fail Mary. Yeah, you're good enough to bet on JSN to score this game. Why not?
Yep, totally get it. And worth mentioning that he does have 5 touchdowns on the year. He does have a multiple touchdown game. So one of them, he did score twice. So I guess 1 out of what's our record now? 8-6. 1 out of 14, he's done it. So hey, that's about plus 1,400 odds. What do you know? Sure. Right. So go figure. All right. That then takes us to what I think is the ugliest bet. And Brandon, you get to talk about this. Discuss. No, this is you, Adam. You went against everything you usually preach. So this is a negative Hawkera, and I need you to explain to everybody why you did this to us.
Because of you guys, because of Clinton and Wilson. Like, you guys have been betting on other teams to have success against us all year. You've feasted off that. It's annoying. And I'm tired of getting my teeth kicked in each and every week. And look, I couldn't feel more, I guess, just unoptimistic about this football game based on what we saw off of the Packers and really just what we've seen from this team specifically offensively all year. And Clinton, before we came on, you had said if we'd had a real OC this year, we'd probably be like 10, 11 wins right now?
Yes.
Yeah. And so with the dumpster fire that we have at that position, I just don't think that the offense is going to be able to stay on the field. The defense is going to be out there a ton. Justin Jefferson turns out pretty good. He's pretty good. And I could see him scoring in both halves as Reek has another mental lapse game and just runs around like a chicken with his head cut off as the ball's floating in the air. So I figured I might as well cash in finally on the other team having success. And to try to offset the bad Hawker here, I did it on the Fail Mary instead of any of my main bets. This is, just like the title says, kind of the long shot. So go ahead, get the whips out. Let's go.
Brandon, you could take it away. I'm disgusted. This feels yucky. I might be mad for more than 4 days. So just watch out. But you take it away, Brandon. Tell them why this Hawkera needs to be cleansed.
Well, there's one area where I think Adam is really, really wrong about this, and that this is not just a bet against Reek Woolen. This is a bet that's pro Kevin O'Connell, that he can find ways to get his matchup and beat more guys than just Reek Woolen and score. So
sure,
that's where you're wrong, buddy.
So the way that I'm wrong makes it even more likely. That sounds good.
Did want to give the audience a look into for the Kenneth Walker 2 touchdowns. Looked it up real quick. I was saying, it's probably plus 1,100. I was way off. Vegas has it down to plus 550 that K9 gets 2 touchdowns in the game.
Whoa.
So nowhere near Fail Mary territory. In fact, Wilson's third down bet was higher odds than just that. So, well, boys, that concludes. I put all these up on screen. I forgot I made this. So for those following at home, got every single bet, nicely curated there for y'all. We will. One of the fun parts about this show, is that we got more and more people being like, hey, I really kind of dig this format. And we like that. We like to understand that. And Brandon, we have a fun little channel in our Discord just dedicated to this show and our other shows. But I think people need to know how they can get involved, especially in this giving season. What should they be doing?
Yes, you can become a member of the flock at getintheflock.com. You can also hit the join button out on YouTube. And I believe that, maybe it's time for me to update the Discord link in there. But either place gets you a link to join our Discord. We chat on game day. We chat, have a chat dedicated for each one of our shows. And that way, if you want to interact with any of them, you can go there and join us on the Discord, and also supporting us at getintheflock.com.
It is a ton of fun. I couldn't recommend it more. And again, it is the giving season. So what can you give? Go to getintheflock.com. And if you don't have that kind of scuttle, we understand. You got to take care of yours first and foremost. Of course, what you can do that is absolutely free. We want 200 more subscribers to get us to 5,000. YouTube.com/Seahawkers podcast. If you're watching right now, there's a handy dandy QR code. Hey, take a photo of that and do us this favor. Take a photo of that QR code, and you got buddies in your cell phone that are Seahawks fans. Text them. Hey guys, this is a show I think you like. They put up multiple things a week. I think you'll dig it. Take that QR code, send it out to a couple of Seahawks buddies that you have, and let's get a lot more folks in so we can get to that 5,000. Guys, what do you think of that? Take the photo of the QR code and text it to buddies. Adam, make sense?
Nothing says holiday cheer like spamming your friends with something they might love. So, yeah, it's a fantastic strategy.
This is great. You don't even have to give them a gift. Just give them a gift of the Seahawkers podcast.
I love it.
And just say, guys, you're welcome. And then that's that, right? So, well, we had a ton of fun on PNW Prop Stars. We hope you did as well. My predictions are that I'm going to be watching you both on our Sunday night show, the recap show. And
you will not.
Okay, you will not be on. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, in fact, that was a discussion I was going to have post show. So here's how the sausage is made, folks. I'm not going to be able to be there. I'm going to need you to do that, Clinton, if you can. So you put that in your cap there and see if you can do it.
Very cool. I think I'm going to be heading out with a buddy to Mohegan Sun, which is a casino in my area up here in Connecticut, to watch the 1 o'clocks and 4 o'clocks. Brandon, as long as you could give me like an hour to get home and get ready, then I think I could say yes to that live. What do you think?
Good meeting, boys. We had a meeting, and now we know what's happening on Sunday. We're going to have a show one way or another.
Yeah.
And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Yeah, that. And go Hawks and screw this show this year. God dang it. I suck at this.
I screwed it up. I'm the backup guy. I'm probably not the one who's supposed to say there's only one thing left to say.
Oh, and go Hawks.
We'll fix it in post.
Or not.
Or not. Go
Enjoy,
Hawks.
people. Happy holidays.